Hello there and welcome back to this video series on programming for problem solving using C language. After watching this video, you will be able to initialize a matrix and obtain its transpose. We begin by noting that a one-day array can be initialized. Just as any variable can be initialized, a one-day array can be initialized in either way. Number one, you have an example of a float array initialized here and an int array scores initialized here. Notice that the number is missing here. In such cases, the compiler will count there are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 elements. It will put the number 5 internally and continue with the program. In the second example, the number 10 is given here explicitly. So there better be 10 elements here to give the values of scores 0, scores 1 and so on. So initialization means giving values to the elements of the array at the time of declaration. Some people take it to mean giving the value for the first time. Okay. We can also initialize the 2D array. There are 3 example statements, 1, 2 and 3. All the 3 give exactly the same array stud, short form for student, which is of type int. Int stud and number of rows, number of columns. Row 1, row 2, row 3. 3 rows and 2 columns, column 1 and column 2. You need not necessarily define this way. You can define in a single line, because the number of columns is 2. It will say, okay, these 2 form first row, these 2 form second row and these 3 form third row. You can omit the first subscript. The first subscript is optional, but the second subscript is must. Here 2 specifies number of columns. So 5012 they form first row, 6018 second row, this forms third row. Having known that, we will see that transposing means making the rows as columns and columns as rows. So this matrix is transpose of this or vice versa. You can see that this is the first row which became the first column. This is the second row became the second column. This is the third row became the third column. We can achieve this by exchanging Aij with Aji. Notice this problem very carefully and note that you need to use j is equal to I plus 1 here. This is the key point. Just like I is equal to 0, I less than 2, you cannot have j is equal to 0, j less than 2 here. That will not work. It will not give the transpose. I would encourage you to run this program, make j is equal to 0 and see what happens. Then you will understand clearly. The name of the file is transpose.c. You can ask me for it. I can give it to you whichever way you want. If you want to run it, run this program, you need to compile it first. That you do if you are using a GCC compiler, gcc transpose.c, and once it compiles, you can run it by /a.out and the output is given over here. That's all we have for today. Have a great day.